So if you remember, a few weeks back, I picked up this Kobalt mini toolbox from Lowe's for about 20 bucks. And I probably got about 10 comments saying you need to check out the US General one from Harbor Freight. So that's exactly what I did. So let's take a look at how this US General mini toolbox compares. So right off the bat, I'm seeing almost zero differences between these two toolboxes, other than the price, with the Kobalt being $19.99 while the US General is $1 cheaper. But as I dig a little bit deeper, there are a couple of significant differences. If you remember from my Lowe's video where I took a look at the Kobalt, you'll remember that one of my biggest complaints was that the Kobalt didn't have any liners. In fact, in that video, I even went as far as to make my own liner for the top shelf of the Kobalt. I don't think I'm going to need them for this US General mini toolbox. Not only does that top shelf have a liner, but if we open up each one of the bottom drawers, you'll see that they have liners as well. The next key difference between these two mini toolboxes has to do with the magnetic locking system on the drawers. Now, although they both have magnetic drawer locks, there's a significant difference between the two toolboxes. The Kobalt has a much weaker magnet system. In fact, if I hold it upside down, you'll see that both drawers can fall out. But the US General has a much more secure hold. In fact, when I try to hold it upside down, you can see that those drawers stay in place. And finally, I only see one other difference between the two toolboxes, and it has everything to do with the lid. First off, the US General has a couple of rubber pads right on the top of the lid to give it a softer close. And secondly, unlike the Kobalt, which has a hinge that can open up over 180 degrees, the US General has a hinge that opens up less than 90 degrees. And I really like the way that US General has a limit at 90 degrees so that it doesn't open too far. And other than that, everything else with this toolbox appears to be identical. And for $1 less, I think it's an easy decision to go for the US General over the Kobalt.